Hello everyone, Pallytime here. We are in Diablo 3 today. I think I want to start a series called Free Time. That way I can showcase games that I'm actually playing for pure enjoyment and not necessarily making videos for. And kind of take you guys along on journeys with me that you wouldn't normally see. It's not going to be uploaded very often. More of a kind of maybe once a week thing, maybe. Depends how much free time I have, really, doesn't it? Anyway, I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3 lately. The main reason for that is the start of Season 2. I didn't understand the point of the seasons at all. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. And then Girlfriend Time was like, come on, let's play. And all of a sudden, I find myself spending a lot of time working on this monk right here. Apparently, monks are the new hotness right now, because they're the most overpowered class, but I've been playing monks since the beginning of the game, man. That has no effect on me whatsoever. So, I don't know how to see my time played on this particular character. You can see I didn't do anything at all in Season 2. But, I mean, I haven't spent too much time on this. It took me a couple days to level up, maybe 3 or 4 days, actually. And then since then, I've just been knocking out rifts as much as I can. I've managed to acquire some pieces of gear that I'm rather fond of, like the Leoric's crown. I am looking to replace this relatively soon, trying to replace it relatively soon, but Leoric's crown increases the effect of any gem socketed into the item. Right now I'm running with just the best red gem I can craft. You can see my gold funds are pretty low. So I'm just trying to get as much paragon XP as I can to try to get a little bit of an edge with that. I did get a decent ancient witching hour from one of my very first rolls with the gambler chick. I was pretty excited about that. But, you know, the way I look at Diablo is it's a game where you strive for perfection. It takes time. The growth process, I think, for characters is very interesting. Now, some people can play this game for a week, invest a ton of hours into it, and be able to say that their character is done. You know, they can clear tier 6 and shit like that. I typically don't progress that quickly. I like to chop things up into bite-sized pieces. I feel like I do that in life a lot. It helps me process things a lot easier. And I also do that in Diablo 3. So basically what I'm working on right now is, as you can see in my gear, I have some all-resist gems in my chest piece and some empty sockets down in my pants. So I'm currently working on just doing my bounties because I really want the Ring of Royal Grandeur. Kind of trying to knock two birds out with one stone. I really want the Ring of Royal Grandeur, and I also really want to get my all resist up with those gems, because I want to be able to go into like higher difficulty content. Basically right now my damage is sitting at 579, 579k of course, which isn't terrible. That's enough to start progressing to some higher torment levels. Basically right now my build, what it focuses on is just keeping this sweeping wind up. I think it's a build a lot of monks are using actually. It doesn't actually have any spirit generators built into it right now. You just kind of walk around with this sweeping wind, and then you hit everything with exploding palm. When you find an elite pack, you go ahead and you pop epiphany, and then everything on your screen dies. And I have enough damage to make that happen. I have enough damage to produce decent results with this build. So I'm looking to get my all resist up just a little bit more, so I can progress into some higher torment levels. When I get to higher torment levels, it is going to increase your magic find. So, you know, getting that Sun Wukong set for my chest, shoulder, or excuse me, helm, shoulders, and gloves is going to be a little bit easier. And then from there on, progressing into higher difficulties should not be a problem at all. So with this series, I basically just want to show the progression of the character over a course of time. That's something I really enjoy seeing. I don't know if it's going to translate well onto YouTube or not. As always, with anything I do, feel free to give me any feedback that you would like. I don't think my build is going to be changing too much in these videos. But essentially, I'm striving right now just to improve those gems, just to hopefully progress to a higher torment level and get some better magic find. I am on Torment 1 right now, and as you can see, I'm not having too much trouble with it. Don't really have to manage my life bar at all. Essentially what I'm going for is effective farming speed and not necessarily the bragging rights of saying, oh, I've done Torment 6, look at me. Oh, I've progressed to Greater Rift 900, shove it up your ass, you know. Not looking to do anything like that. Alright, so this bounty's been completed. Like I said, I'm doing the Act 1 stuff. Usually after all these bounties, I head back to town, because you can see I acquired a decent amount of gold doing this. The gold I'm generating is mostly from the Boon of the Hoarder. One thing I made a point to do when I started, or actually right when I hit the level cap, I went online into a public game for Torment 1, and I just did a rift with them. And then with the the Keystone of Trials that I got, I just went into the trial. I mean, I could show you. I guess I can have 2 of these things running. Yeah, I'll just show you. So what I did was I went in here and then I just left. And what this is going to do is cause you to get a level 1 Greater Rift Keystone thing. Which, I mean, as far as progression goes, is the easiest content you could do ever. I mean, most people could do a level 1 with their eyes closed. So the reason I wanted to do a level 1 was because at the end of it, you're still guaranteed to get your legendary gems. I mean, you can progress through the content super quick. What a lot of people do is, there's my keystone. What a lot of people do is wait for this bad boy to get to 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the end. So you jump into it, we'll put up Sweeping Strike as soon as I see an enemy. Essentially with this build, all you have to do is maintain your Sweeping Strike in order to be effective, which can be hard to do if you don't have the presence of mind. Basically, you need to be staring at the bottom of the screen when you're not in combat. As long as you're not hitting something, you're not regenerating the Sweeping Wind. So you have to like be vigilant about maintaining that. But with this particular rune, and I will show you my build, we generate enough spirit to be able to constantly cast this out of combat. So even if we leave combat totally out of spirit, we're going to regenerate enough to keep this going. And it's really essential for this particular build. Typically I would be popping Epiphany whenever we run into a yellow pack, but essentially because these guys, they're no big deal at all. So we're just gonna plow right through them. Also, I could be running for some more cooldown reduction. That would certainly help me progress right now. In my Paragon points, I actually don't have anything into cooldown reduction. I have everything into gold find, because again, I like to segment challenges off into tiny little bite-sized bits, and right now my bite-sized bits are all about gems. There was a shield pylon there. Not a big deal. It's not like we needed it. And we're just gonna knock out this content really fast. We're almost halfway done with the rift already, and we're just gonna keep on keeping on. Alright, you can see we're basically at the end of the Greater Rift. Any kill now, the boss is gonna come out. There he is now. So we just want to recall now, actually. We may have to go back to the door depending on how fast he is. So I cleared this rift in 4 minutes, and actually we're going to leave. We're at the 10-minute 53-second mark. We do not want to kill the boss in the Greater Rift until there's less than 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the timer, because what that's going to allow us to do is only progress the rift up to level 2, and there are some advantages to doing that. So in the meantime, I like to just head back out, do some bounties. Make sure you don't use your town portal, because even though I teleported here, we can just use these pedestals to get around, and I can go back into the Greater Rift. So you want to use your M key to get around, not your T to teleport. Alright, so I've done a couple bounties. I didn't show them because, you know, they're bounties. They're like always the same. Just going to tackle my time. We have a few more minutes left to waste. When you check your time, don't go to your portal that you made. Just walk into this bad boy right here, because you don't want to aggro the boss again and have to worry about trying to get out of there. I'm going to do one more bounty and then we'll head back in that motherfucker. Alright, all the bounties are done. I've done everything. So we can go ahead and talk to Tyrael. I know I cut those out, but they're bounties, so I mean, I suppose down in the comments you guys can let me, you can tell me what you actually want to see from Diablo. I just kind of wanted to show my character progression. Checking the time again, There's 3 minutes remaining, which is more than enough time for us to venture back to level 2, find the boss, get Sweeping Wind up, pop Epiphany, and make sure that this guy does not go anywhere. So essentially with Epiphany up, I'm able to drop these pillars. I suppose now is as good of a time as any to explain the build. Oh, we got a fist weapon. Look at that. I've never seen that one. What is this? Probably not going to use a fist weapon. Using my two-handed weapon because it scales really well with Exploding Palm. That is not bad, though. As far as weapons go, that's respectable. Is that an ancient? No. Okay. So then you would just want to upgrade your keystone again. You can see because we killed the boss after 4 minutes and 30 seconds were remaining, this just goes to level 2, and then we can teleport out. So the build for the character that I'm using right now, let me go ahead and explain it. We have Exploding Palm with Shocking Grasp. Every time you use Exploding Palm, it's going to put a blue hand above a target and another target. It's going to spread within 15 meters. So the idea is you put Sweeping Wind up with the Inner Storm. So when you get Sweeping Wind to 3 stacks, you continue to regenerate Spirit. And then you just hit everything on your screen with Exploding Palm. And then the Sweeping Wind is going to be helping you to kill everything and get it down. If you're not producing enough damage, and this is also for when you have Epiphany up, you want to be using Wave of Light with the Pillar of Ancients. This hits the ground, does a ton of damage to everything nearby, and can really help you detonate your Exploding Palms. Because essentially with Exploding Palm, when a target with the debuff dies, he explodes and deals damage to everyone around you. But you have to kill the target within the time frame of the application of the debuff, if that makes sense. Epiphany, we are using Insight because we need the spirit regen on this. We are not using any spirit generators for primary attacks, so it's really, really important that we have Epiphany, that we have Inner Storm on Sweeping Wind. I think I keep calling it Sweeping Strikes. I apologize. And then Mantra of Healing with Circular Breathing. Mantra of Healing also regenerates 3 spirit per second. You're starting to see a common trend here. And then Dashing Strike with Quicksilver, just because I like to dash around. The more cooldown reduction you have, the more effective this is going to be. The passives we are using is Exalted Soul, increase maximum spirit by 50, and increase spirit regeneration by 4 per second, again sticking with the common theme. The spirit cost of mantra activation effects are reduced by 50%, and you gain 4 spirit every second you have a mantra learned. So by just having the mantra giving us spirit on our bar, we're generating more spirit. Momentum, moving 25 yards increases your damage by 20%. That is not hard to do at all. So you can see this is the debuff right here, momentum. One of these, oh hey, we have momentum. Let's let it fall off again. Like 20 yards is so insignificant. Like, hold on. There we go. We have the buff again. It really does not take that long to generate that, and you can get it just by moving around in circles. So it's basically just a 20% damage increase all the time. And then for our defensiveness, we are using Harmony, just because my toughness is shit and I need to work on it a little more. So my goal for the character as of right now is getting these gems on point, getting them to be the best gems they can be. And every single time I do a Rift run, I am generating about 1 million gold with this gem on. And again, the reason we're doing those greater rifts on such low levels is the chance to get legendary items to gear up a little bit faster, but it was mostly to get all of these legendary gems, which I believe I have all of them now, and these are going to have various effects. The one I'm using to get gold is the Boon of the Hoarder. I'm going to be swapping that out once I complete my gem project that I'm working on. And then I'm using the Teardrop of the Star Weaver because it does a ton of direct damage to a target, and that smite damage can really help me detonate my Exploding Palms. I may switch that out a little bit later though, once our damage is higher. And then I'm using the Gogok of Swiftness, which is not too good for this particular build actually, because we don't care about attack speed at all. It's all about crit hit and crit damage. But the cooldown reduction that this is going to provide later on will be very useful for getting around quickly with the Dashing Strike. So this is kind of a work in progress. Maybe I'll keep it in the build, maybe I won't. I'm not too sure. I've said it a few times now. I think Diablo is all about character progression. I think it's really interesting to start from the bottom and watch a character be built up. Obviously, there's going to be some gaps in here. The series is called Free Time, so this is something that it's just a pet project. It's not something that I'm going to pursue a ton. It's not going to be like daily content for Diablo 3 or something. I mean, unless it's incredibly successful. And by incredibly successful, I mean it does better than my Heroes of the Storm content. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any feedback for me on the format of this, I would love to hear it. Essentially, I'm going to keep working on gearing up my gems here. And then once that's complete, I'm going to be working on the next project. And I'll fill you all in on that. And we can kind of fill in the gaps on what has changed since this first video. Personally, I think it'll be really interesting. Hopefully you think it'll be really interesting too. I'll see you all next time. Okay, bye.